For a person living in the ancient Mediterranean, a sudden illness or a ruined crop rarely felt like a random accident. Sickness and disaster were understood as the active, malicious handiwork of invisible spirits. To survive this daily barrage of chaos, people turned to grimoires, books of magic and spellcraft. One specific text stands out as a highly practical survival guide, the Testament of Solomon. The text opens with King Solomon attempting his greatest architectural feat, constructing the Temple of Jerusalem. But night after night, the construction site falls into shambles. The master builder's young son is wasting away. A vampire-like demon named Orneus visits the boy after sunset, draining his life force and stealing his wages. No amount of mortal medicine or royal intellect has been able to stop the attacks. Solomon holds the wealth of a kingdom and the finest architectural mind of his age. Yet he is forced to watch his project fail and a child wither, unable to exert any influence over the invisible force responsible. Desperate to save the boy and finish his temple, Solomon goes into the unfinished sanctuary and prays for an intervention against the unseen world. His answer arrives from the sky. The archangel Michael descends, carrying a supernatural artifact directly from the divine realm. In this woodcut from the text, the archangel presents the king with a magic ring engraved with a star known as a pentalpha. With this seal, Solomon will be able to lock up all the demons of the earth. God has handed a flawed mortal man absolute command over every demon of the air, earth, and underworld. Solomon immediately pivots from defense to offense. He uses the ring to draft these creatures into a shackled supernatural labor force to build his temple. He hauls each demon before his throne and conducts a highly procedural interrogation. First, he forces the spirit to state its true name and the exact astrological star it answers to. This flowchart illustrates his system. After getting the demon's name and star, Solomon extracts a confession of the exact diseases it causes. Finally, he forces the creature to name the specific angel whose invocation will drive it away. This data-driven categorization is recorded meticulously. Here, the woodcut of the ram establishes the astrological connection to the demons. Below, the text lists the decani. They confess to causing ailments like severe fevers and provide the exact spoken charms to imprison them. By stripping away the mystery of these spirits and converting their weaknesses into a categorized index, Solomon effectively industrialized the forces of hell. The roster of forced labor includes the highest-ranking entities in the supernatural hierarchy. Solomon summons and binds figures like Asmodeus and Beelzebul, the demon prince. Alongside these famous names, the text catalogues deeply bizarre entities, headless spirits, animal hybrids, and the 36 decani. This chaotic roster exists because the text is a massive syncretic mashup. It blends Jewish mysticism and Old Testament lore with Hellenistic astrology and later Christian additions. Despite the volatility of this workforce, the strategy succeeds. The massive golden architecture of the Temple of Jerusalem is completed, built entirely by the sweat of subjugated monsters. Solomon's blend of intellect and divine sanction brought the supernatural realm under his command, resulting in a period of unnatural, perfect peace. Yet mastering the grand architecture of the universe doesn't fix the man sitting on the throne. Solomon is ultimately undone by a mundane human weakness, lust. He falls madly in love with a Shunammite woman. Her pagan priests, however, refuse to allow the marriage unless the king of Israel sacrifices to their god, Moloch. The man who bound the princes of hell and commanded dragons faces a trivial, earthly demand, and his wisdom fractures. In paragraph 129, the text describes the reality of his fall. To win the woman, he takes 5 grasshoppers and crushes them in his hand in the name of the god Moloch. Even commanding the demonic world provides no armor against the quiet, mundane compromises of human desire. The consequence of this crushed handful of insects is immediate. The Spirit of God abandons him on the spot, leaving Solomon as a weak, foolish mortal once again. The cosmic hierarchy flips. The great master of demons is now subjugated by his own desires, spending the rest of his days building temples for pagan idols. This document serves as a dark, confessional autobiography written by a man at the end of his life as he looks back on his own ruin. Solomon's warning is recorded here in paragraph 130. He writes that he became the sport of idols and demons and urges finders of the text to attend to their own souls. The myth concludes that the slow, mundane corruption of the human heart poses a more persistent threat than any supernatural monster hiding in the dark.